You didn't sign up to be a soldier. You signed up to save lives. But out here, in a place that doesn't exist on any news channel, the line between saving someone and becoming the next casualty is about 4 seconds wide. This is not a Moore movie. There is no hero music. There is only the next body, the next call, the next level. Level 1. The first call. It's 3:47 in the morning. Your sat phone buzzes on a cot somewhere in a converted warehouse in the Donbass corridor. You've been in country for 6 days. You haven't slept more than 2 hours in a row. The voice on the other end says one word: incoming. You grab your med kit. It weighs 11 kilograms. Your hands already know what's inside: tourniquets, hemostatic gauze, chest seals, a defibrillator you've never had to use. Not yet. You step outside. The sky's orange. Not sunrise, something else. A truck pulls up. 3 men inside. One of them is screaming. 2 of them are not. Quiet is worse. You open the door and the smell hits you first. Copper and smoke, and something you don't have a word for. You work fast. Tourniquet on the left leg, high and tight, 2 inches from the groin. You don't think about who he is, what side he's on, whether he has a family. You think about the bleeding. You stop the bleeding. That's level 1. You stop the bleeding, you keep them breathing, you hand them off. Simple. Until it isn't. Level 2. You learn the rules. By day 9, you understand how this place works. There are no hospitals within safe distance. The closest functioning trauma center is 67 kilometers east, through a stretch of road that gets shelled every morning between 6 and 8 a.m. So you operate here, in a basement, under a school that no longer has children in it. You have one surgeon. His name is Mykola. He's 58, speaks 4 languages, and hasn't left this building in 3 weeks. He teaches you fast. Tension pneumothorax, needle decompression, second intercostal space, mid-clavicular line. Don't wait. If you wait, they die. You practice on a dummy until your hands stop shaking. Then you practice until they stop shaking under pressure. There's a difference. The money isn't much. $800 a month from an NGO that doesn't advertise its existence. But that's not why you're here. You're here because you needed to know if you could do this. You're starting to get your answer. Level 3. The first time you lose one. His name was Artem. 22 years old, brown eyes. He called out for his mother. You had 12 minutes to work. You had the equipment. You had the training. You did everything right. He died anyway. This is the thing they don't tell you about combat medicine. Sometimes you do everything right, and the body just decides. You sit in the corner of the basement for 4 minutes. Mykola puts a hand on your shoulder. You count the ones you saved, not the ones you couldn't. You nod, but you also think, how many can I take before I stop counting? You go back to work. There are 2 more incoming. This is level 3. You've seen death now, real death. Not in a textbook, not in a simulation. The ones who quit leave at level 3. You stay. Level 4. They start relying on you. 3 weeks in, you don't need Mykola to tell you what to do anymore. You're moving through the basement like you were built for it. Chest seal application in under 40 seconds. IV insertion in a moving vehicle on a dirt road in the dark. The soldiers start asking for you by name. Not the surgeon. You. A commander named Sarihi shakes your hand and says, "You're good. You stay calm." You don't tell him that you're not calm. You tell your hands to be calm, your voice to be calm. Inside, there's a frequency, a constant low hum that hasn't stopped since day 1. You've just learned to work around it. They start including you in briefings now. You see the maps, you understand the positions, and you know which sectors are getting hit hardest. You know where tomorrow's casualties are coming from before they happen. That knowledge has a weight to it. Level 5. Forward positions. Week 6. You're no longer in the basement. They need medics closer to the line. You're given a plate carrier, a helmet, a radio, and a vehicle. You operate from a modified van 2 kilometers from active contact. The rule is you don't cross the line. You receive the wounded, you stabilize, you send them back. The rule lasts 4 days. Then a squad gets pinned down 400 meters into a contested field and there's nobody else. You go. Your hands are shaking, not from fear, from adrenaline. There's a difference. You know the difference now. You get to the man, gunshot wound, right shoulder, exit wound clean, but he's going into shock. You talk to him the whole time. I've got you. Look at me. Stay with me. He stays with you. You get him out. When you make it back to the van, your knees go weak for exactly 30 seconds. Then the radio crackles. Another call. You go again. Level 6. The weight compounds. 2 months in, you've treated 140 people. You've lost 11. You know all 11 names. You don't sleep more than 3 hours straight. When you do sleep, you hear things, or you don't, and the silence feels wrong, and you wake up reaching for the medkit. Mikola notices. Your eyes are different, he says. You don't ask what he means. You know what he means. The men you've saved start coming back through, rotating back from positions, passing through. One of them brings you food, a jar of homemade cherry preserve his wife sent from Poltava. You eat it in 2 minutes standing up. It's the best thing you've tasted in 2 months. You cry for the first time. Not for any specific loss, just everything. You allow yourself exactly 4 minutes. Then you go back to work. Level 7. The offer. A man you haven't seen before arrives at the basement. Civilian clothes, expensive watch, calm eyes. He sits across from you and puts a folder on the table. We've been watching your work, he says. He doesn't say who we is. The folder has a number in it. $4,500 a month, tax-free, untraceable. In exchange, you move to a different operation. Not NGO, not official. A private coordination unit that works in gaps where governments won't go. More resources, better equipment, higher risk. Much higher risk. He slides the folder toward you. You have 24 hours. He leaves. You sit with the folder. You think about Artem. You think about the man with the cherry preserve. You think about the 11 names. You think about how good you've become at this. And you realize that's exactly why they're asking. Level 8. The point of no return. You say yes. The new operation moves faster, bigger scale. You're working across multiple sites, Syria, Sudan, a location they refer to only as the Eastern Corridor, that you're instructed never to name on any device. The resources are real. Surgical suites and converted shipping containers, satellite imaging of casualty zones, a team of 4 medics that you lead. You lead now. You make the calls. Who gets prioritized? Who has to wait? Who, in the worst moments, you have to walk past? That decision has a name in military medicine. Triage. You knew the word before. Now you know what it costs. Month 5 of the new operation. You're in a coordination hub in northern Syria when a vehicle takes a direct hit 200 meters out. 7 casualties. You have equipment for 4. You make the call. You save 4. 3 don't make it to your table. You made the right call. The only call. The math was clear. You know this. Your hands know this. But at 2 a.m., in the silence between calls, the math doesn't matter anymore. You start having a specific thought, one you recognize from a training module on combat medic psychology. This thought means something is wrong. You ignore it. You go back to work. 6 months in. You call home for the first time in 3 weeks. Your mother answers. She asks if you're okay. You say yes. You've gotten very good at saying yes. You can't tell her what you do, where you are, what you've seen. There's a version of you she still knows, the one that left. You're not sure that version still exists. The man with the expensive watch sends a new folder.
Another operation, deeper in, more money, more risk, more of everything. And here's the thing that scares you more than the shelling, more than the losses, more than the silence. You're considering it. Because out here, you're necessary. Out here, your hands matter in a way that nothing else in your life ever prepared you for. And that feeling, that terrible, powerful feeling of being exactly where you're needed, it's the most dangerous addiction in a war zone. Final level, level 11, the cycle. There's a new medic in the basement today. Young, nervous, hands shaking slightly when they grip the kit. They look at you the way you looked at Michaela 6 months ago. You put a hand on their shoulder. You show them the tourniquet application, high and tight, 2 inches from the groin. You show them the chest seal, the needle, the radio protocol. You show them how to keep their voice steady even when nothing else is. They ask you, "How long have you been doing this?" You pause. You look at your hands. Steady, certain, practiced. "Long enough," you say. The sat phone buzzes. You pick it up. You step outside. The sky is orange again. You move toward it. Because this is the thing no one tells you before you start. The hardest part of surviving a war zone isn't the danger. It's realizing you've become someone who can, and choosing every single day whether that's something you can live with.